Hey guys, Hook to Clash here, and today we're going to do a thorough breakdown of two of my attacks that I did in the Tribe Gaming Clan War Leagues. Obviously I did 7 attacks during the week and I was lucky enough to go 6 out of 7, but today I want to look at 2 of them in particular. All 7 were Zap Lalo, so yes, the 2 attacks we're going to be looking at today are Zap Lalo. What a surprise, I know. But we're just going to slowly go through these attacks, take our time, and I'm going to let you guys know what I was thinking when I saw these bases, and hopefully that sort of mindset and thought process I go through will better you guys for when you're planning for a base. Because honestly, Zap Lalo at the moment is more about the plan than it is the execution at this point, although obviously it's a bit of both. Now let's have a look at this base. If you have a look at the sort of things you can zap around the CC, there's nothing that's obvious that will absolutely advantage a Zap Lalo attack. So probably the highest value thing I can get is that Expo, that Warden. I think I can hit this Expo. Like there are the 5 defenses I can hit, but you can see there's no Queen, there's no Champ, I can't hit a sweeper, I can't hit the eagle or a scatter, and those are the sort of your primary targets, obviously, with the zaps in this attack. So why do I choose to Zap Lalo this, and why was this such an obvious target for Zap Lalo? Well, there is 2 reasons that you should zap in a Zap Lalo. The first one, obviously, is to get value with the zaps. So that's on a sort of base where you can zap, say I could zap like the eagle and the CC on a base. Right, if you can zap both of them, then obviously you're getting so much value out of your zaps and it's already worth it. The second reason, and one that's more often used by high level players, because obviously people aren't putting their eagle artillery by their clan castle anymore, so the more commonly used reason to zap these days is to open up some sort of path or an easier way for your Sui to get ridiculous value, and then also to leave an easy Lalo afterwards. So, having a look at this base has a core clan castle, and I will warn you guys that core clan castles are great for the zap attacks. And why is that? Because by having this CC in the core of the base here, if I zap and I get rid of this Grand Warden, I can also hit this Expo because it's 1, 2, 3 tiles away, and you can just zap for 3 tiles if you put it right there. If I get rid of those, and I can get rid of the air defense and damage this, have a look at the buildings that are gone from the very center of the base. What does that leave around the edge? Well, it leaves a really nice predictable path no matter where I Lalo, because look at it. No loans are going to cut across the core. They're all going to move, no matter which way I Lalo, they're all going to move in the same way. I can control my Lalo a lot easier, because if you leave up defenses in the core of the base, it can make your Lalo pathing a bit awkward. So that's one reason I wouldn't put your CC in the cores, because when you zap it, if you can get rid of those core buildings, those are the most important. Another reason on top of that is these buildings in the core do so much damage to your troops. Honestly, defenses on the outside of the base, sorry, I'm going to go into a bit of detail here, and it might sound silly at first, but it's honestly a lot of the thought process. Defenses on the outside of the base, like this archer tower here, this archer tower here, just by themselves, honestly don't do much to a Sui or a Lalo, right? Because when you're dealing with them, you're not dealing with any other defenses. Like when I deal with that archer tower, I'm not dealing with the cannon that I just marked with at any time during it, so it's a low damage. But as you get further and further into the base, you're dealing with more defenses at a time. Obviously, that's how it works. But by zapping these core by zapping, as we marked out before, if I zap all of that, the further I get into this base, when I'm dealing with that Expo there, I won't be dealing with this ground Expo anymore. I'm just going to be dealing with that, and it just limits the amount of damage that's output from the highest DPS part of the base. And what this allows me to do is to pull off a crazy Sui here on this attack. So, as I said, I'm going to put 5 zaps right here, which will take out the Expo once I quake it, the Grand Warden, and this air defense, and then I'm going to put 2 zaps on this Expo and this wizard tower just to damage them, just so I can take them out quicker for the Sui. Now, what does this open up for my Sui? Well, there is lots of value up here on this side of the base, but honestly, I didn't feel the need to sui there. What I did instead, and honestly, there is a wide, there's a large number of ways that you can sui into a base. It's up to you, but what I saw was if I put a loon on this mortar down here and a minion, that takes it out, and then I can send an ice golem. I forget if I send it this way or this way, but if I send it in that way, it will tank that single Inferno Tower. And if I send my RC behind it, I should be able to clear this entire compartment here, which is obviously aided by the fact that, as we said before, this Expo and this Grand Warden is taken out. Even better, if I get the RC to come in from this side over here, if I pop her ability, it should go to from the Archer Tower here, and I think it goes into the core and gets rid of this sweeper, which is going to be huge for my Lalo, because obviously sweepers, when you only have a couple of hastes and a couple of freezes, are crucial. Anyways, by doing that, look at it. It opens up a really nice route here for me to just stroll into the town hall. As you can see, let's count the number of point defenses. 1, 2, well, that's not even point defense, that's splash, but we'll count it. 3, 4, 5, 6. Technically 7 and technically 8 over here, but that with one ice golem, that is not much damage, and that's all enabled by the fact that these zaps are taking out the core damage of the base. So yet again, one reason not to put your CC in the core of your base in your bases at the moment. Now, the next part to plan is obviously the Lalo, because you can see we are still leaving up a scatter, an eagle, a queen, a champ, and another scatter. So you're probably thinking, well, isn't this really bad for the Lalo? But luckily, as you can see, this sweeper's facing this way. We're hoping to take the other sweeper out with our RC. So because, yet again, we've zapped the core of the base, look how nice the pathing is around the base. And plus side, we don't end on any defenses that are really bad for the Lalo. You'll often find with a lot of the zap Lalos, if you end on a scatter shot, that's really bad for your attack because you're often out of spells at that point. You definitely don't have the Warden ability. So that's awful, but because I'm ending on such a tame area on the base, that's a big tick already. Second of all, there's no air defenses in this entire area over here. Sorry, I'll move that. There's no air defenses in this entire area over here. So it's a really good spot to send the Slammer. And this Slammer will basically get rid of the scatter shot and the enemy queen. So that's already big plus there. Then if we Lalo straight in here, save a few loons to come in over at that scatter shot, and then use the Warden ability kind of around this air defense and this bomb tower, that will carry us through this whole area of the base, which is obviously the last major damage area of the base. And if we're through that, it's home. Like, the base will be wrecked no matter what at that point. There's nothing left that can consistently kill a huge packet of loons. Sorry. So hopefully that sort of breakdown, you guys like that, let me know in the comments below. But we can quickly remove all of that and get into the attack, and we'll see how I execute the plan we talked about there. So the zaps, I probably take a little while to place them down. I'm probably internally panicking. There they go. So like I said, I put 5 zaps there and then 2 zaps on the bottom, and then, yep, I quake that. And I'm actually going to pause this now because I just remembered. So this Expo stayed up, but I've actually deliberately kept it up and deliberately kept it at very low health there, as you can see. And I've done that so that when my RC ability goes off, like I said before, it goes from there to there to there and takes out that sweeper, because by taking out that sweeper, that enables this entire Lalo. So let's continue with the attack again. I get the balloon and not the minion, and archer's often enough. Have the ice golem come in here with the royal champion, and the two of them in unison will do fantastic work here. The ice golem doing everything I could have asked for it there. And then I'll pop the champ ability. Once you get 3 hits off on the Inferno, you can pop the champ and she takes it out. And look at that. The sweeper's gone. And look at this path here, straight for the town hall. I don't even need to draw at this one. You can all see it. The king and queen will come in at the bottom here. I didn't even bring an ice golem, guys. And I'm like the biggest fanatic or the biggest supporter of bringing ice golems with your Sui. And I didn't even need to bring it for this one because there's such low damage on it. It's just, you just want to identify parts of the base where there's low damage after you do your zaps, or where there's high value, to pull off the best Sui possible. And this Sui just gets crazy value. I forget how far it goes, but I'm pretty sure I get the air defense after the town hall, which is actually useful. Air defenses do a lot of damage to balloons. And as you can see here, I'm already starting my Lalo. No need to wait. We know the queen's going to get the town hall with her ability. Sorry, not the best day for my voice. Anyways, the Stone Slammer's coming in here and doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It's going to tank the queen and the scatter shot, and then the dragons will come out. I'll freeze the queen just to be safe, and then look at it. The loons are all moving in a tight pack together here. That Tesla farm proved annoying, but I pop Warden through the eagle shots and through the scatter, and look at it. They're invincible for this toughest part of the base that's left. I freeze the Royal Champ. I'm pretty sure I meant to have a Headhunter on her, but something must have gone. Oh, here he is. The Headhunter finally makes it, and look how many balloons I got left. I got a freeze and a haste. Probably didn't need either of them, but just use them because you may as well use them. It's a Clan War League attack. No need to swag here. And that base is absolutely wrecked, despite the fact that the only air targeting defense that I took out with the zaps was the Warden. So it's not all about just what buildings you can zap, guys. It's about looking at the base once those zaps are done and seeing what the zaps enable you to do. And it's not obviously not the sort of thing that you'll all pick up immediately, but hopefully by watching a few of these videos and doing the attack enough for yourself and getting a feel for how much your heroes can get, you will get better at this. So we're going to move on to the second attack. And we're going to hope that my voice can at least make it through this second attack. It's yet again base 15, but don't think too much of it, guys. These are all max. Well, yeah, look at this. This is a max Town Hall 13, so it doesn't really make a difference. Now, this is going to be the other reason you zap in a Zap Lalo, or just zap in general, is for actual zap value. Because look at all the defenses that we can zap here. We could get this Inferno. We could get the Sweeper. We could get that Sweeper. We could, if we want, get that Scatter. That, I think we can hit the single there. Another Ground Bow and another Scatter. There's so many buildings to choose from here. So obviously, there is awesome zap value here. So even if we don't get much from our heroes, this zap attack is definitely worth it. Sorry. So what you'll see a lot of the pro players do in these situations is look at all these buildings here. So the Inferno, both scatter shots, both expos, and obviously the other Inferno. To take them out with zaps, you need 5. Sorry, that's 4. You need 5 zaps and 1 quake. So what I do in this attack, I decide I want to take out the left scatter shot. There's no real. I don't think there was any real point to it. It was just left or right. I think I picked it because I wanted to Sui in up here, so I'd rather go in there instead of straight into the king. But honestly, it didn't matter too much. Anyways, so if I put 5 zaps here, I will take out. Let me remove everything. If I put 5 zaps here, I will get the. I'll obviously hit the clan castle. I'll hit the Sweeper. I'll hit the Scatter, and I'll hit this Expo. And then that's all they need, because I can use a Quake at the very end of all of this right here to damage all of these buildings. So at this point, there is no need to put a 6th and 7th lightning on these buildings here, as I'm going to take them out with the Quake anyway. So what you do, and what a lot of the pros do, they'll put their last 2 zaps right here just to damage these buildings. And one fun fact is if you put 2 zaps and a Quake on a scatter shot, Expo, and I think Inferno, but I don't know for sure on the Inferno, but definitely Scatter and Expo, 2 zaps and a Quake, and then the RC shield takes them out. So that's a little fun fact to know. So if I did these zaps, right, and took out the scatter shot and that this scatter shot here, sorry, and that Expo there, and then damaged these 2, and then I set my RC in here, if she popped her ability, say, on the Wizard Tower, and it went Arch Tower, scatter shot, it wouldn't path like that, but if it did that, it would one-shot those, which is honestly amazing. Obviously, the RC doesn't normally do that. So that's one of the reasons we split our zaps. Anyways, so I'll take out all these buildings and then damage these ones here. probably shouldn't draw 2 circles like that, should I? Anyways, do all that with the zaps. Then the plan after that is obviously you can see there is so much Sui value in this part of the base. But it's going to be really hard to funnel our heroes in there. So what I decide to do, I send my RC here, and her job is to just clear out, obviously I already zapped this side, so there's low damage, is to clear out all of that and maybe do a bit of damage to this expo, but you don't know. And then I'll start my king up the top here, he'll walk down, I'll use a wizard up at 12 here to take out the spell factory just to make sure, and then use 2 ice golems, because look, this inferno here is going to be troublesome, and this king. 2 ice golems and my heroes straight in here. The funnel's set really nicely on both sides, and I'll just see what I get. But the plan is to get literally all of that, and if, as we can see there, all that leaves is this part of the base, and we can Lalo through there. We'll use a safe blimp for the town hall, which I can talk about the composition at the end of the attack, and then the base should be wrecked, because look, there's not much of the base left. The only real, threat to the base would be this scattershot, which, as we talked about before, is already weakened. So we'll start the attack here. Yet again, I probably take a little bit of time getting these zaps down, just because, you don't want to mess them up. If you mess up the zaps, it's kind of the whole attack. So there goes 5, there goes the other 2. The quake hits all of those buildings. So we'll pause it right here. So as you can see, done good damage. Like I said, if I use my RC over here, this scattershot and this expo are 1-shot to the Royal Champ ability. Obviously I don't do that, but it's just something for you all to know. So we'll move over here, we use the RC, and she's just going to get nice value. It's honestly not insane value. You would often look to get more value from your Royal Champion, but it's just nice for pathing. Plus it helps with like the hounds, obviously having 2 air defenses down. I actually start my king on the Dark Spell Factory, sorry about that, but I still use the wizard to funnel. And then this ice golem, I complained about it at the time, but it going around the wall here is kind of nice because it's going to tank this single and freeze it all up. The king follows to take out the enemy king. And then as you can see, I pop my king ability here. The reason I do that early is so that the barbs are now going to tank the single inferno and like get in front, which is obviously desirable. I'm just sprinkling my 2 headhunters in at this point. I'm hanging onto the second one and I've just put it down now. And they're just there to take out the RC. And this second one does such a good job. Obviously, the headhunter slows down the champ so much that she's not taking my king out. So my king can still tank for her. It's just good teamwork from the 2 troops there. And look at it. I've already got everything I wanted. And I'm about to get this single inferno as well, guys. Like, this Sui is crazy. Look how much of the base is left. I don't even Lalo. I'm going to say this now. This is not a very good Lalo. I do not Lalo this well at all. But if you've practiced Lalo enough and you pull off a Sui like this, it will wreck the base. So a lot of Zap Lalos, you will find that you triple before you even put a loon down because the Sui is that good. But we'll go through the Lalo anyway. Obviously get the first group of loons down nice and early. Then the hound comes in to tank. And you can see it comes in perfectly as the expo starts targeting it. Then the second hound from the other side to tank the other air defense. And I'm just getting loons down on every defense that I can possibly target. I believe I'm going to freeze the scatter shot here in a sec because it's targeting some of my loons. Actually, I don't. I just warden ability. And I'm making sure I get that blimp right there in the warden ability. Fortunately, I hit a tornado trap here, which gets a bit risky, honestly. It was kind of possible that I wasn't going to take out the town hall here. But I freeze it just to be safe. And then the dragon finishes it off with the sneaky gobs. And as you can see, guys, I have just put down my first haste. And I've got a freeze and 2 more haste to go. And there's nothing left. So this base gets absolutely wrecked. But it's not because I've been practicing Lalo for a long time or because it was a great Lalo. It's because I put the thought process, spent time looking at this base and came up with a really nice Sui plan. So hopefully that gives you guys a bit of an insight into how I think when I'm looking at a base. Obviously, if you want to see more insight, come watch me on Twitch because I do plenty of Zap Lalo and Legends and I'll talk through it there. Admittedly, there's probably not as many 3 stars in that. Quickly before I go though, I did say I would talk about this over here. Oh, sorry, not the spells. We'll cross that part out. This is what we call the safe blimp. And essentially what it does is, you can see on this town hall here, there's a giant bomb there. There's a giant bomb there. And there was also like a tornado truck like here-ish. So if you sent like the normal one you'll see is like 5 sneaky gobs and a hound for that. The 5 sneaky gobs would come out and they'd get killed by these giant bombs. So what this blimp does is, you have these 6 barbs come out first, and what they'll do, they get rid of any bombs in the area, whether they be little bombs or giant bombs, which is perfect. Then you have these 2 minions come out, and these minions obviously get rid of any air bombs, but actually the main purpose of them is, because the barbs are generally dead at this point, these minions will tank this. If there's like splash damage nearby, the splash damage will shoot the minions rather than, say, ground troops. Because if it shoots for like a ground troop, it is possible to kill these sneaky gobs by pure accident. So that's what those minions do, is just, you know, divert the attention essentially. Then these sneaky gobs come out, and these 5 sneaky gobs take out the town hall so quickly, it's actually ridiculous. And then the drag is just honestly what the best that you can do with 20 space that's left. Obviously it did a huge favor for me, because I don't think my sneaky gobs quite got rid of the town hall, but the dragon had enough hit points just to finish it off. But if there's ever any space in between the town hall, like open space like there is on here, sorry, oh, that's an unhappy face, that's kind of sad. If there's any like open space, as you can see, there's like no buildings here. That means there's room for giant bombs or mini bombs. And if you're blimping the town hall with a Lalo attack or a drag attack, I would recommend bringing this CC. It's your safest bet to get it out without having to use a rage. If you're happy to use a rage, then bring drag and 5 loons. Anyways, thanks for hanging out and dealing with my rapidly disappearing voice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you'd like more of these thorough breakdowns. I know not a lot of people do it because they kind of just want to see people attack, but I just thought I'd give you all this today. Anyways, if you did like it, obviously like and subscribe. Hopefully I see you for some live streams. If not, I'll see you for the next video.